Hello everybody, welcome to the third round of the VMR Championship, coming to you live from Sao Paulo, Brazil, the home of the Interlagos Grand Prix. I'm joined, as always, as I will be every Tuesday, by Dumberoni. How are we this evening?
Hello. Welcome back.
Apologies for that scream in the background. That was my 2-year-old, rather excited that he's there.
I honestly think that was you, but okay.
I can assure you it was.
I think you are gamer in another voice party. That could also
That was
be.
gamer when he survives more than 2 laps.
Yeah. I said earlier today that we shouldn't trash talk gamer, but I just want to say something about gamer before we start. Gamer is actually the best driver in VMR, the quickest driver to ever DNF. So you know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's an interesting stat for the season. Hopefully can beat that next season.
Yeah.
So Dawn Clouds then have formed. Sorry, go on.
No. I just got some issues on my side, so you go on.
Okay, so Dawn Clouds have formed then here in Brazil. So you never know if it's going to be dry or wet for this race. It's a reverse grid, as it has been from the second round last week in Austria, and we'll go through the driver lineup. As you can see it there, it is Zaki on pole. Then we have second place goes to Gamer, third to a debutant Nick, and another debutant behind him in fourth, Leventi Varga. Vic goes P5 for Aston Martin, Sheggy P6 for Ferrari, J Skills in McLaren P7, then it's a 2 Cash at Red Bull drivers, 8th and 9th of Whirlwind and Gowers. Wildcat is 10th, Cam is 11th, Curry King is 12th, BBE 13th, Jesus 14th, George Wadham 15th, and the race winner from last week in 16th place. An interesting start of tyre choices as well for the drivers. I won't read them out. When I used to do that, they used to change the tyres, but it's an interesting choice from them. Drivers, of course, we are waiting for the race start here, and we're just facing the pit lane at the moment. I wish it wouldn't do that when you're ready to go on the race. I wish it would just show the grid.
Yeah, that would be awesome, but, you know, EA ain't gonna happen.
Very true. Championship standings is follows. Of course, Tamas is the championship leader with 61 points. He does hold a 13-point lead over George Wadham. Jesus is a surprising P3 and a Matchroom fourth, and Stone Cold will get a nosebleed. He's P5. He will move down, though, because he misses the next few races as he's in holiday in Greece and couldn't be bothered to take his stuff with him and race, which is shocking.
Yeah, fuck you, Stone Cold.
And the joint bottom is Gamer, Hombovic, Zaki, and Felix 1.
Yeah, just want to mention that Felix 1 isn't in the league anymore. Hombarovic hasn't done a race anymore yet. So we really don't count them in at the moment.
Okay, so joint bottom then are Gamer and Zaki. Hopefully they can change that tonight here in Brazil. Nobody likes to be joint bottom.
Well, at least they get a chance to start at pole and P2, so it isn't all that bad.
Can they survive turn 1, though? That is the question. It's a bit of a dip down turn 1 towards turn 2. They do call them the center S's. And when you think about Interlagos, you can't help think about the escape route that Kimi Raikkonen once took. They drove for Lotus when he thought he could rejoin the track.
Yeah, I also, if you go to a newer part of Formula 1, was the last season Magnussen took pole at Interlagos? Last season, not the season before that?
Yes, and of course the 2008 championship, controversy between Hamilton and Massa. People still think to this day that Timo Glock actually threw the championship to Hamilton, but we will never know.
We will never know. But we can speculate and make our own history.
But you can indeed. There's been 5th variations of this Grand Prix track as well. This 5th variant has been used since 1999. The race lap record is 1 minute 10.5 by Valtteri Bottas when he drove for Mercedes. We are going to start with a formation lap.
And the Racing League tool actually showed that we are in Interlagos now and not Melbourne, so that is good news for me. Less work for me. Hopefully.
Oh, yes, because it said Melbourne on the thing, didn't it?
Yeah, instead of Oscar, we were in Australia last week, according to the Racing League tool. But at least now we are in Interlagos during the formation lap, so I will follow P5 at the start of the race on my screen.
Excellent. There we go. So there's the tyre strap. Interesting that only 5 drivers are going to start on the softs. We have Zaki, J Skills, Whirlwind, Jesus, and George all on the softs, and only 3 drivers are choosing the hard option, which is Wildcat, Curry King, and BBE, and the rest are all on medium compound tyres.
Yeah, also fuck you, King. He's starting on P12, so that is actually most likely last place position into T1. Because he will be overtaken by BB, Jesus, George, and Thomas. In the first couple of quarters.
So if you want to listen to Dumberino, I have put a link in my chat box on my Twitch channel. Just look at the difference between 1973 to now, and it used to be 4.3 kilometers. It used to carry on for a little bit at turn 1.
Yeah, and then we got 2 on top getting disqualified.
Oh, there we go. So the front 2 disqualified from the formation lap. Of course, they will still take part in the actual. Oh my God, Zaki's way off the box. That's why he's been disqualified. He was way off then.
Yeah, and Chase Goose is standing sideways.
He is indeed. I've just noticed that, but it's going to be the 5 lights here in the Sao Paulo. 36 laps. Wildcat's been given a drive-through penalty already for a jump start. As we run to turn 1, it's going to be Zaki that leads. Nick goes up to P2 then for Haas, side by side. And there's chaos at the back. Dumberino spotting that. We'll see that in a minute as we go down towards turn 3 between Jordan, Gamer and Nick. Side by side in towards turn 3 then, and it is Gamer that gets P2. And a couple of penalties already that sees Wildcat and Curry King with penalties. Gowers is in his usual position of Stone Cold last.
Oh, Mercedes went off. That was Gamer. Oh, he cut the track like a fucking maniac. Yeah. It just went sideways off the track and went over the guys and back on the track.
I did switch over to that as he was off track, but I weren't expecting that response from yourself.
Well, he's a fucking maniac, but he was lucky the game didn't award him with 10-second time penalty for that. Meanwhile, Sakiak has gotten off to a good start as well. When Chaos is behind him, he just say fuck you guys and go.
He has indeed. I tell you, he's got off to a fantastic start. The Haas of George Wadham is up to P4 already. And as you were talking, I was riding on board with him, and he overtook J Skills into P4. A superb start from the guy who started 15th in this Grand Prix and is currently chasing down his teammate Nick in P3, who goes wide and nearly takes out his teammate as well.
Oof. That was a close one. Typical Haas. But this is bad news for Thomas because he is stuck on P9 for the moment, while George is up on P2.
Oh, and yellow flags out. Nick has gone off track. I did see him spin in the back. A 10-second penalty to J Skills though. Severe collision with Nick, so J Skills probably spun him around. I did see him spin around actually, as Curry King has served what I think has been a drive-through penalty along with Wildcat as well, because they're both currently sat in 15th and 16th place.
We also got George hunting down the Swedish driver now. Victor has gone from P5 to P2 as well.
He has indeed, and they all have DRS as well. New thing this season, lap 2, they all get DRS, so they'll get it down towards turn 3. Everyone from Vic down to Levente will have the use of DRS, and Vic gets past Zaki for P1, and George could also get Zaki as well. This is a disadvantage with being a race leader. You don't get DRS. But is George going to try and do it in these tricky corners? Or is he going to back off?
Close one, but now Chase Kills got past George, so they're going side by side.
Of course, it's when you choose to do it. He could have chose to just back off and do it on the pit straight, but with it being a short track, you've got to try and get your moves when you can. Jordan and Shaggy are scrapping along with Whirlwind as well for P5. You can also count Tamas in that battle for Red Bull.
I just have my camera on George at the moment when he is hunting down Sakiak. Easy pass.
He's now up to P2 and he could stick one on the outside of Vic as well. He is going to, and he takes the lead.
Vic went off.
As Vic went wide. J Skills moves up to P3 and a 3-second time penalty for Whirlwind as Shaggy gets past Jesus as well.
This can be a difficult one to spectate because there's so much happening at the moment.
Shades of Austria for half of that Grand Prix. It was very tight for most of it. We are currently riding on board with Jesus and P8, of course. And then Zaki has gone off as well. He's dropped down to P13. He's retired from the race.
Again, that is the third time in a row.
It is a silly thing to do despite reversing backwards. Of course, he can still recover it. I don't know why he's done that unless something failed. I'm not sure what happened there.
Gamer is attacking Jesus now too on the outside into T1. He won't make the corner, but the cars are smoking ahead of him as well.
He is indeed. So I'm just staying on board with Zaki a minute. He has got the car out of what I would say would warrant a safety car. So there will no be safety car. We go back on board with, no point watching George, he's leading at the moment. Let's go on board with Cam because he's all over the back of Shaggy and he might try and go around the outside of Shaggy here. It's going to be a little bit difficult. He loses the position but taps a car there of BBE who then goes off track. Well, he didn't go off track, somebody ahead of him went off track, but Levente tries to keep it going. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment for these positions. I was watching BBE then, going past Gamer. Gets a penalty. Levente is battling Cam.
Oh, we got a horse going around.
As well.
Yep. This is the best debut for Nick, but still a long way to go. One safety car and it all can come together.
I was just about to actually go on board with him because he was chasing down a driver and then obviously he spun. So commentators curse and all that. Nick chooses to pit them. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. BBE all over the back of Shaggy. He's going to get the use of DRS and the energy recovery system as well, the battery power. And he can't quite do it because he didn't have enough battery to try and make a move on Shaggy. Looking in Dumberino's chat, we've got a fly. George who says George is cooking. Yes. Indeed he is. He's cooking something up here. But bear in mind he has got the soft compound tyre on, so he will pit earlier than the guys behind him.
And we also got Victor spun.
Oh. And BB and Shaggy have had a bit of a knock then. They've both spun, so they're both off track and rejoined safely.
And now we are back in George leading and Thomas on P2. So this championship
so
is
of
open.
Austria, apart from the other way around, with it being George leading, Cam is all over the back of Vic, who doesn't have DRS on Jordan, so that it's going to leave Vic a sitting duck. Cam is going to get probably the easiest move he's ever done in league racing and moves up to P7 ahead of the Aston Martin driver, who's now going to have Leventi Varga all over the back here in the debutant for Williams. But Vic is going to also have DRS on Cam. Now this will be interesting down towards turn 3. Shaggy with a penalty, and the Williams driver has to stay behind the Aston Martin driver and couldn't quite get past him.
I just want to mention the penalties we're seeing in the for speeding in pit now. That is, I just want to say that we can blame Wildcat for that one, because he managed to miss the going into the pit and took out the speed limiter sign. So they are basically driving into the pits blind.
A 20-second time penalty for Nick there, but having said that, even though they took the limit, the sign out, you still get that notification when you're getting up to the line, so they should be able to hit it properly. But we'll keep an eye on that one then. Levante Varga all over the back of Vic again here as we looked at the penalties. Now back onto the tyres. A Williams driver all over the back of the Aston Martin, but he's not going to be able to make the move, as we saw Jesus get past Whirlwind and moves up to P3 in the McLaren. And Tamas, despite being 2.5 seconds behind Wadham 2 laps ago, is now 7/10 behind the Haas driver.
It is difficult for Varga to get past Vic now, because Vic has the DRS on Gamer, so it is hard to overtake at the moment.
He does indeed. I need to go.
Oh, the Gamer went off. Yeah.
The Gamer's got off. Yellow flags are out. He is going to rejoin safely.
At least he's survived 8 laps, so that is a new record for him this season.
It is indeed. He's currently running P11 then. Oh, he nearly lost it again though. He's got to be careful there. He'll have, of course, overheated tyres, so he's just going to be a little bit careful.
I think we missed something, because Vic is now up on P5.
Yes, and we've also missed Tamas take the race lead from George Wadham as well. So while we're watching Georgia, Gowers gets past Jay Skills. He loses out to BBE because he's pitting. So I wonder if the softs now of George have given up. However, that is not going to be the case for him, because he's still all over the back of Tamas. As we watched on board with Wadham then, we saw some of his floor get ripped up on the curb. I noticed that in career mode earlier on in Brazil. When you run wide into turn 3, as you go on the curb, some of the floor gets ripped up. So I don't know if that's a glitch, or because it doesn't affect the balance of the car, but there must be a glitch within the game as Wadham tries to keep with the Red Bull. It'll be interesting to see if he pits then, as Jay Skills was the first one to do it on the softs, and he exits the pits then just ahead of Gamer. So both Gamer and Jay Skills pitting for their respective teams. Nick has gone ghosted, so I wonder if he's actually pulled out. I think he has, as he is now as AI. So we won't focus on Nick.
Oh, we got a question. Is that Gamer? Yeah, that's Gamer again. I just need to say that this dude has to learn how to drive.
Yeah, he's lost his front wing as well. So hopefully he'll carry on and not give up. We'll win P4 then. He's all over the back of Jesus in the Red Bull Cash App.
Yeah, and both Jesus and Mervyn is on soft tires, so they will have to pit soon as well.
Noticed another senior team of the Red Bull team has left as well. They're joining McLaren next season. It's all fallen apart at Red Bull ever since the allegations came out against Christian Horner.
And yeah, Levante Varga going side by side with Cam at the moment as well. So that is a good battle to watch.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll jump on board with this one then, as Gamer gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Blame Varga.
He was going to try and stick it on the outside there of turn 14. It was never going to work.
Remember that Varga is mainly an ACC driver, so going quickly is new to him.
It will be indeed. So Varga decides not to try and launch one on a turn 1. I don't really blame him too much because he didn't want to try and cause a collision there into turn number 1. Just going to get the track map up as well. So, yeah, turn 12, we tried to make a move on the Sauber driver. It was never going to work into turn 12. He's currently sat behind the Sauber driver P6, comfortably ahead then of Gowers, who will have a nosebleed running in P8. He used to this.
He actually gone up 1 spot. That might be because Sakiak DNF, but yeah.
He'll be getting a nosebleed. He won't be used to being P8. He's not at the bottom, so Gowers will be shocked by this, and he's not yet to get a penalty, which again is another difficult track to try and avoid not to get any at all, as George Wadden pits for Hastem. Inevitable, really. As I did say, he's on the soft compound tyre. It would have pitted earlier than the medium runners. He will probably come out around about, I'd say, 7th, so probably get ahead of Vega and Gowers, as BB's all over the back of Gowers, and the Williams driver gets the move completed on Gowers and moves up to P7. Too easy for the Williams driver as he looks to try and recover the bad start he made. His next target is his teammate in P6.
Thank you for the follow, Flynn. Thank you very much.
And Wadham must have had a horrific pit stop because he's joined back in P9, which I'm surprised about with that. And Curry King, no surprise there, gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He'll probably blame his wheel for that one.
Yeah. King likes to blame everyone else except himself. Because he's a fucking fucktard and should not be able to drive in a Red Bull ever again. He's the VMR version of Sergio Perez.
So you've got yourself a new follower. I've subscribed to you for 5 months now.
Thank you. I'm earning cash today. I like. Well, anyways, we got Walker still attacking Cam, and Cam is attacking Vixel. On the inside.
I haven't got anyone yet following me.
Oh, Cam, but I think there was contact between him and Vic. So Walker got past him, and now Walker is chasing down Vic.
So here we go then. Cam and Vega battling with Vic all the way down towards what I said was turn 3. It's actually turn 4. So they're going through turn 4 then, through the tricky section, all the way up to turn 11. But you don't really see many overtakes unless, of course, there's any errors. Yellow flags are out in sector 2.
I don't think that was. Well, we got Walker. He's just when I chose to not watch him anymore, he goes out spinning.
So that would have been the yellow flag. It did look like a green car on the track map. So to me, it looked like a Sauber, but as I was going down, it was obviously Wildcat. So, but then it's like blue as well. So with the Mercedes and Wildcat, as you said. So Gamer's currently running in P14. He's some 27 seconds behind the next target of VRT Shaggy.
We got
he's a lap.
King attacking Gowers, sort of interrupting, but we got a major attack mode from the German driver on the British one.
I have just noticed though that Nick's back in the game. So Nick is now back in despite, or is he? He just ghosted again. He was actually.
I also want to mention that King did a typical King move. He got past Gowers and then he chose to spin a little bit, so Gowers hit King in the back. And now King are going full rally mode, and Gowers is past him again.
I'm just running on board with Nick. I'm not sure if he's actually racing or whether it's the AI, because as he came through a corner, his car nearly spun. Now that's unusual for an AI car because normally the AI car would not do that. So I'm wondering if he's actually driving and he's just having a couple of issues. I know that Gamer's currently ghosted as well, so I don't know if he's lost connection. But I'm just wondering about Nick, because obviously normally we'd say I'm going to look at his lap time, see if it's consistent with any of the people behind him, well, ahead of him. So he's lapping 111s. Gamer's lapping in the 1 12s. It's consistent. It is consistent with his previous laps. I'm wondering if he's actually still racing. I mean, he's consistent with everyone else as well. So maybe they are still racing. Who knows?
Okay, now we got
We'll
some
keep an eye on that anyway.
technical issues on my side again because the Racing League 2 has decided that we are back in Melbourne.
So George Wadham, who got fastest lap so far, he's currently stuck behind the Williams of Levente Varga. Tamas is somewhat 15 seconds ahead of Vic as we enter the 16th lap of, well, going on towards the 17th lap of this Grand Prix. So again, as I said, we'll keep an eye on Nick and Gamer. They are ghosted at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on their lap times. They are consistent with every other driver, and AI will, of course, be somewhat slower. And now, Mr. Varga. I caught the end of that one. That's going to that might go to the stewards. I didn't catch all of it, but I caught the end.
Do you want to tell me what happened with Varga?
So I switched to Varga, and I don't know whether it was a glitch, but as he approached the pit limiter line, the car froze and then just stopped itself and carried on. So I don't know whether he's reset himself to track, but then again, it would have put him in the mid. I'll send you the clip at the end.
I think Nick are back in the game because the car just went off track and back on. So I think Nick is back driving.
That's what I mean. It's a bizarre one. Yeah. But on my end, it's showing that he's ghosted.
Yeah,
Gamer's back in.
Okay, that's good. Gamer is currently P14.
So he's not ghosted. Maybe they never left. Maybe it's just the game played up. I don't know. But Wildcat currently running in P11. Then yeah, I'll send you the clip of Varga at the end, and then I'll let you decide it. It's like it's hard to describe. Going in, and as I caught it, the car just suddenly jolted onto the pit limiter line. So it's like he probably reset or something. I don't know, but it would have put him back in the middle of the track if he did. Jesus gets ahead of Curry King, moves up to P6 for McLaren, as we currently have George Wadham and Cam all over the back of Vic then, as this battle is for P number 2. Cam trying to look for a move. George Wadham, he's going to go for it. He's got some big balls here and he gets it. An unusual overtaking move.
But
That
Cam
was a
is
lovely move
fighting
from George
back.
Wadham.
Cam is
and
fighting
Cam's
back.
not giving up either. The Sauber driver gets right back in front of him. And then George responds again. And he's going to try and go on Vic as well. But he decides that he's going to back off for now. Some big balls then from George Wadham and Cam there to overtake there, because they're unusual overtaking spots around this track. As we go towards the start-finish race again, and halfway through this Brazilian Grand Prix, George Wadham is going to try and make a move on Vic. All too easy for the Haas driver.
Here comes Cam.
He does indeed. Oh,
late defending move.
Nearly.
Oh, they touch.
They do indeed. I'm wondering if that was a kind of a what do you think you're doing move. And Vic took a massive corner cut there. He gets punished by in-game now. Really, he should give up the move, but, well, give up the position.
Well, they didn't want to do that last week either, so... But they are fighting, and I don't think they are best friends at the moment, so this can become ugly. Cam is chasing down Victor.
Leave you on board with Cam at the moment. I'm just going to be back in a second.
Yeah.
So here we are then, as we go towards the 23rd. Well, we're on the 20th lap now. Tamas is currently 18 seconds ahead of George Wadham, who is currently getting past Cam. So they've obviously overtook off camera. Well, when I was watching them, and not here as Jesus. So I'm going to watch Vic then. He pits for Aston Martin. 19 laps on the medium compound tyre. Jay Skills gets a penalty, and Vic is being held. So obviously he would have had a 10-second time penalty. Let's see what tyre he changes to. He's losing positions massively. He's now on to the soft compound tyre. So he's going to try and go to the end of this race on the soft. Wildcat pits then as well for Mercedes.
Yeah, Vic will try to fight himself back up now. He will be a lot quicker, but for how many laps? Can the soft last for 16 laps and still be quick? It's the big question. I think they can last for 16 laps, but they won't be that quick at the end.
So I reckon they'll go off around about lap 10. It was lap 10 where George Wadham pitted. So I'm wondering if he's got onto these thinking that there could be a potential safety car. That is my only thinking of why he's possibly done that.
Yeah, but at the moment there aren't any battles going on except Jesus Cam. So the possibility for safety car is reduced as well.
A safety car, of course, would punch the field up.
We got a spinner. That was Nick.
It was a Haas, and there you go, he's retired on track as well.
Yeah, I got it on camera as well. Not cool.
In fact, it was reversing backwards as well for a minute then.
Yeah, but the AI is trying to turn the car around.
Yeah, so he's turning it back around. He is out. He retired on track, so that will be put towards the steward's game. He's gone ghosted again, so I'm wondering if he's having
he's being
connection
lapped.
issues.
He's being lapped by George.
And the good thing is, even though he's been lapped, he'll score points. So despite him being in 14th, he will get points despite being a lap behind. Jesus gets past Cam then. As we watch this battle towards turn 1, Cam is not going to be able to respond yet because there is no use of DRS, but he's going to get it again coming out of turn number 3. Jesus locked up going in towards turns 1 and 2. As we come out of turn 3, then DRS will be available for Cam, but he's too far back to make a potential move on the McLaren, and the Mercedes power unit is just too strong for the Ferrari power unit this time around.
I just want to also mention that Markheim, the other contender for the podium at least, is in race today, and he will complain tomorrow, oh, if I raced I would have won and blah blah blah. Fuck you, Markheim, for not showing up.
I noticed that Markheim's not even racing. I only just noticed that. And I've been commentating for the last 22 laps and I've just noticed. So Tamas has pitted then for Red Bull. Of course, he won't rejoin in the lead. George Wadham will retake the lead. Soft compound tyre for Tamas. So he's going to try and go to the end of this Grand Prix on the soft compound tyre.
Yeah, well, he managed to do a quite long stint on the mediums last week, so he should get the soft to last for 13 laps in this one.
I've never liked the pit exit here in Interlagos. I don't like how it goes all that way. I think at the bottom of the S's, it should let you rejoin there onto turn 3. I've never liked how it just drags it all the way down. But overall, a good rejoin from Taras. He rejoins in P2. And as I went on board then with Jesus, and you'll see it on my stream, as he came across the curve of the exit of turn 4, again, it showed the debris from the floor get ripped up, but then as it landed on track, it glitched. So it's obviously a visual effect within the game, but it doesn't affect the performance, because when I did career mode earlier on, it didn't affect the car. It would be good, though, if it did do that. Game gets a 3-second time penalty, so he is still here, which is good to see, and he will get points. His teammate 13, so Mercedes not used to being that far behind.
At the moment, there are no battling going on. Thomas will catch George in a couple of laps' time. Vic is actually closing in on chase kills. He had an overtake. Well, he's going far off track, so we won't catch him this lap. Varga is 1.5 seconds behind Cam, so that is actually the closest we got at the moment. But Cam is getting away from Cam, so yeah. Then we got actually Wildcat. He's attacking Shaky at the back. We need to follow the back markers a little bit as well.
We do indeed. So as you mentioned, that went straight on board to Wildcat, and Shaggy is going to be a sitting duck as we go towards turn 1. The DRS is open on the Mercedes. Is it going to be an overtake? Oh, they nearly came together. It was hard to see as they went underneath that little bridge there. Wildcat took a little bit of a corner cut, and he also kind of left the track as well as he went for the overtake, but he didn't get punished for it. He is going to get another go again towards turn 4. Tamas getting the inevitable fastest lap, which was pretty obvious considering he's got a soft compound tyre. Will Wildcat get another go at the Ferrari of Shaggy?
Well, to be fair, getting past Shaky isn't an easy task, so Wildcat needs to work for these points.
He'll also need to be very, very patient as well, as Shaggy nearly made an error there. Wildcat, though, just biding his time, not trying anything silly. And obviously, an experienced league driver is Wildcat. He's currently 4 tenths behind the Ferrari driver then as we go up the hill towards turn number 1 then. He's going to get the use of DRS again, and he's using the battery. He saved the battery up, which was clever, from turn 4 all the way to turn 12. He's going to get the use of it then, and the DRS to try this time around to make it an easy move. He's half off the track again, but Wildcat gets a move. Now the question is, was that move completed while he was half off track, or was it fully on track? It was hard to tell from my camera view, but you didn't get a, well, I don't know if you got a warning for it.
I think he had 2 of the wheels on track when he had to overtake. So if he did that, it was a good overtake. Thomas had, yeah, they can jump over to the battle for P1. Thomas has already, no, Thomas got penalties. 3 seconds.
So George again, like he did in Austria, with penalties, just like it was for Tamas as well. Tamas didn't have any, but George was 3 seconds behind in the end with the penalties game, with 19-second penalties. No surprise there then. So we're going to watch this battle then for the race lead. 11 laps to go then. Hard tyres versus the medium compound tyre. Sorry, the soft compound.
Yeah, this should be
George
an
Wanham
easy,
had a bit of a moment then, out of turn 11.
This should be an easy overtake for Thomas. And I also got to say that Thomas is extremely good to wait it out. He's waiting for save opportunities to go for overtakes. He is not dive bombing. So he just
Here we go then.
playing
The
it safe.
inevitable overtake is going to happen. We've got Cam as well, potentially with a move. Oh, it's not going to happen.
Well,
Tamas
no, he
didn't.
make it now.
Surprisingly there, you got Skill, Vic and Curry King as well, looking for overtakes as we go down towards turn 4 then. It should be inevitable this time around for the Red Bull driver. It is indeed, but I say it is indeed. They had a bit of a argy-bargy moment, and they have this time, that's resulted in Wadham potentially losing a place. The championship rivals having a bit of a squabble out of turn 3.
Just like at
That
Imola.
may go to the stewards.
Just like at Imola, there were contact between those two. So, yeah, they both want to win, and they won't give up.
Cam easily gets ahead of Whirlwind as I went on board as he was running down towards turn 4. You've also got Jay Skills and Curry King scrapping as well with Vic. Now then, who is going to get the better of the options here? It's going to be Jay Skills, who's come from some far back with a lovely move on Vic. But he gets spun by the Aston Martin driver. Curry King benefits from it. He moves up to P9. Jay Skills got spun by the Aston Martin. He drops to P10 behind the Red Bull driver.
That might also be a steward's report, but we just need to wait and see.
We will indeed, of course. It will be, well, it could be, a busy few days again for the stewards. Why can't it just be like it was in the first round?
Yeah. And we also had these two guys fighting now. They also had a come together at Austria last week. Where Vic got penalized.
BB's off.
Well, he most likely deserved it. Fuck you, BB.
The Latvian off on the entry towards turn 13 then. So he rejoins in P11, so he was having a good squabble, but it's all over now. Curry King then all over the back of Vic here. Aston Martin versus Red Bull. Vic trying to close the gap, but he forced Curry King onto the grass. Curry King keeps it together. Vic nearly taking out Curry King in the corner as well, but Curry King keeps it together.
Yeah, that was a close one. So, but Curry King saw what happened with Shakespeare, so he was prepared this time. So I think the best bet for Curry King is to go for the overtake into T1 if he can manage it.
It should be a straightforward task, but with Vic, you never know. He was heavily punished for his incident last week in Austria. Will it be another incident again that could get punished with J Skills? Can Curry King get past the Aston Martin? It's the only squabble and the only battle on track. Here comes the German then against the Swede. Scandinavia against Europe. Is it going to be a straightforward move for the Red Bull driver? It is. And this time it wasn't difficult for the Red Bull driver. Yellow flags in sector 2, and Vic will not even get the use of DRS. So that means Curry King can now try and close the gap to Varga in P6 over the next 8 laps.
You know Scandinavia is in Europe, right?
Pardon?
You know Scandinavia is a part of Europe.
Yes, I just couldn't. I couldn't remember what part of Europe. That's why I just said Scandinavia.
Anyways, we got Thomas with no penalties in this series. He's usually a clean driver and avoid stupid penalties, so a lot of drivers need to learn from that Red Bull guy.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was East Europe, so I just went Scandinavia because I thought it was easier.
East Europe is... No, fuck you, bro. Oh, Vixel is spinning around, cutting a little bit of
He did
corners.
indeed, so he rejoins quite safely and comfortably then in P number 8. So that will, of course, give Curry King a bit of breathing space.
We got BBs attacking Gowers. This can be a feisty one.
It is indeed. It's going to be a steward versus another steward. It's going to be BBE versus Gowers. He's leaving Gowers as a sitting duck. Easy as you like for BBE. The Latvian moves up to P10 then, ahead of the Brit, who did have a nosebleed earlier on. It's back to formality for Gowers, and it drops down to P11.
Yeah, I think I saw BBE flipping Gowers off when they overtook him. So that might be a steward discussion as well. A steward flipping off the co-owner.
So Gowers could try and fight back at BB. I tell you, he's done a good job so far. Sheggy has done 23 laps on the hards. They must be near the end of the lifespan of them hards, surely, as the Haas of George Wadham has just lapped himself. But Sheggy's trying to unlap himself now. So Gamer's done well as well to claw the gap back on Sheggy, but it's going to be inevitable, really. He's a lap behind. He's done 20 laps on the medium, so he's got nothing to lose, but virtually he's going to get points anyway, which will be his first finish of the season, unless the commentator's curse kicks in.
Yeah.
And the only
Besides
close.
Who do you think deserves the driver of the day, considering the 32 laps we've seen now?
For my driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Tamas. Why not?
Yeah.
Nothing else to be said, really, apart from he's drove from the back, just like George Wadham. They're both going to get first and second.
Just like last week as well.
So I think what we should do with them two for next week is put them 10 seconds behind the rest of the field.
Yeah, or we
And
can
they'll still catch up.
Yeah. But also Thomas is the only one without a time penalty.
He's
moment.
indeed. He's so far been a flawless drive from the Red Bull driver. And talking of potential overtakes, we've got one here, BBE against J Skills as we go towards turn 1. It's going to be Williams versus McLaren, both with Mercedes power units, and BBE overtakes J Skills on that one. I'm going to have to rewatch that one back because I don't know, because I was too busy watching the overtake. I don't know if BBE did that with all 4 wheels on the tarmac. Obviously, as the drive over the pit entry line, I don't know if he ran wide and went onto the paint, as you would. I have to watch that back.
I think you're just looking for conflicts at the moment. Just like the last time, I think it was Wildcat. You mentioned might have gone off track. Anyways, do you think BB can catch up to Vic before the end of the race?
Potentially, obviously, he's got the... J-Skill spun at the back. Yeah, he's got obviously. His softs are going to be... What's the word I'm looking for? He's got less rubber. There you go. Because obviously 6 laps for him and Vic with 12 laps. So it could be. He'd have to lap at probably a second lap, if not more, if he's going to catch up to the Aston Martin driver.
Let's jump up to King, because there's a battle going on between King and the debutant, Mr. Walker. German against Hungary.
It is indeed. Now, Curry King has done well to claw the gap back on Varga. And it's going to be Williams versus Red Bull. Curry King will have a nosebleed. Bidding this high up. This is his highest potential finish so far this season. With 2.5 laps to go. The Williams driver's got some defending to do. Yes, he's on the hard tyres, which is 10 laps older. That's the word I was looking for with BB and Vic. Varga's ran a little bit wide, but Curry King just backing off a little bit.
Yeah, Curry King taking it on the straights. He's going to be an easy overtake.
Playing it sensible. That shows the experience between the 2 drivers. As Curry King is going to do it again.
Or just that he's too much of a pussy to actually. Well, that overtake was off the track.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one we got on video.
So, will Curry King give the position back? Because it was, as Dumberoni said, off track.
Yeah, he does.
It doesn't matter really now, does it? Because Varga's got it back. But there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
with the BB one.
Oh.
I think he had 2 tyres on the track, so we'll let him off with that one.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have a feeling King actually let Varga pass easily on that one. Maybe knew that he was in the wrong. But Varga is struggling keeping the car steady at the moment.
He is indeed, and whether Curry can give it back or not, Varga's still got past him, so it's really now inevitable. We can't really punish that, but Curry King will try again. Hopefully this time he'll keep all 4 tyres on the track. Jesus, meanwhile, is all over the back of George Wadham. So we'll have a look at Curry King on this one, because Jesus and Wadham are going through the tricky sections of corners. Curry King this time around is going to make it an easier way of overtaking the Williams driver, and does it with all 4 tyres on the tarmac. So the Red Bull driver now gets ahead, as Whirlwind is also all over the back of Cam.
But I have a feeling the battle for P2 now is the most interesting. How does the penalties look? Okay.
And as we come towards the final lap of this race, and it's been an exciting one. There's been plenty of overtakes. Tamas, of course, leads as we see J Skills get past Wildcat and moves up to P11.
Yeah, I think Jesus is playing it safe. He knows that George got 3 seconds more in penalty, so I don't think Jesus is going to do anything stupid.
I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to cycle through the penalties to actually have a look. Now, is Whirlwind going to do the same as Jesus? Is he going to say, well, hang on a minute, I've got 6 seconds here, Cam's got 9, I'll hold back, and obviously let the penalty sort itself out. He does run wide anyway. Curry King's not going to catch him. But it's been a faultless drive from this Red Bull driver that is currently leading. He's not received a single penalty in this race, and it's going to be a deserving driver of the day for Mr. Tawas. He comes out of the final 2 corners. He's got the hill to go. He's going to be a Grand Prix winner again. He extends his championship lead over Mr. Wadham, and he's going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Tamas comfortably wins here in Interlagos. It's going to be P3 for George Wadham because his penalties will take him below Jesus, who is going to come home in P2. So a strong drive from the McLaren driver. George lets him past anyway. Cam is going to end up losing P4 to Whirlwind because he's got 3 seconds worth of penalties more than at Whirlwind. So here comes the Sauber driver then, and he lets Whirlwind through, which is nice of him. Didn't have to do it, but he does it anyway. So Whirlwind finishing strong in P4. Here comes Mr. Curry King, who is going to get a nosebleed, finishing up in P6 for Red Bull. But as Dumberoni would say, fuck you, King, anyway.
Yeah, fuck you, King. Hope you die in the war.
Folger is P7. Vic is going to come home in P8 for Aston Martin. BBE will bring it home. I say bring it home. He's run out of fuel.
Okay,
He's
disqualification. Disqualification, Mr. BB.
Gowers is going to come home in P9. He's going to get a nosebleed as BBE crosses line with no fuel. And as Dumberino said, I think he said a disqualification.
It is.
You?
If you run out of fuel during the race, it's automatically disqualification. I know BB will most likely admit it himself because he is honest driver. But if not, I will post a clip and penalize the fuck out of him.
Okay, so there you go then. So BB disqualified from the race for running out of fuel. So it's a shame for him. So the Hungarian driver, and it's not Matrim, it's the other one, Mr. Talas, finishes P1, driver of the day for him. George, I mean, look at this. The top 3 were virtually at the back of the grid, and they finished first, second, and third. So Tamas extends his championship lead over George Wadham. A strong drive from Whirlwind sees himself finish P4. Cam P5. Curry King nosebleed for him in P6. And of course, Gower's getting a nosebleed finishing, well, basically where he started in P9. But he still finishes in 9th place. PB disqualified, as Dumberino said, so that will promote Wildcat, J Skill, Shaggy, and Gamer all up a position. So they'll all get points as well, despite Gamer being a lap behind. But as we end the 3rd round of the championship here in Sao Paulo, thank you very much for joining myself and Dumberino.
Yep.